Hey, it's your girl Chante, host of the Chante Show. Back at it again. It's been a very long time since I've been here, since I've done this, but I'm here now with my friend Mimi. How you doing, Mimi?
Hey, how you doing?
All right, so we're just gonna talk about some different stuff. As y'all know, I always start my show off with a little motivation, so I'm gonna just kick it off right now. And the motivation I got for you guys today is, I may have said this before in the past, but I'm gonna say that in a world of delusion, we got to get delusional about the right stuff. You got to get delusional about whatever goals you have, whatever it is you want to accomplish. We got to stop thinking about, like, is this possible? Can I do this? Is anybody going to be interested? You have to just go for it. And when I say be delusional, to me that means you have to be able to see the act being done already. So you have to see yourself being rich or being successful or having accomplished what you're accomplishing already, even if it hasn't happened yet. To me, I think you have to behave as if it already has happened. So you have to be delusional in thinking, okay, yeah, people do want this, what I have to offer. People will pay me X amount of money. It's very possible. Even if everybody around you is telling you that it's not possible, you have to move forward towards your goals confidently. There's actually a quote by this guy. I think his name is William Thornton, and I'll confirm what his name is. But it's advance confidently in the direction in which you wish to go, and success will find you at the unexpected hour. And I love that quote because it's just simply saying, take action, move forward, do what you have to do, and the thing that you're trying to accomplish will happen unexpectedly. But you have to be taking those actions, just like how they say faith without works is dead. You have to have faith, but you have to be handling your business at the same time. So I just say move forward, and whatever you're trying to do, accomplish your goals, be delusional about it, but get it done. And it's more than possible. We all have the ability to do whatever it is that we want to do, but you have to do it. Mimi, you got anything?
For sure. I mean, I second what you're saying. Everything that I do, I manifest. Like I literally sit there. I imagine myself in that position. I imagine myself in that car, that house, whatever it
Yes.
is, and I never manifest anything that didn't happen.
That's
Never.
crazy.
For real. I promise you. We can get a little deeper into that at another time. But yeah, for real. My name is Mimi. I am from Los Angeles. I moved here. Me and my daughter moved
Where's
here.
here?
Excuse me.
Where's
I
here?
moved here to Dallas. I live in like the southern part of Dallas. I moved here, just me and my daughter, just to get something new, just to try something different.
Okay. Why you come here from LA though? That's a big
Dallas of all
big difference.
places.
Yeah.
To be honest, my daughter actually inherited a home here.
Oh wow.
Yeah, she
That's what's
inherited
up.
a home here. I came, I moved into the house. The house turned out to be raggedy as fuck. It was actually on the lake. It was like damn near about to slide off into the lake right
Damn.
there in Cedar Hill.
Okay.
So we got rid of it, and I ended up getting my own home and just staying because we had been here for so long. It didn't make sense to pack up and go back.
Okay.
I came here just off the death of my mother, my grandmother, and my auntie in a matter of like 3 months, and I just was like over it in LA. So I was like, let me try something different.
You needed
Came out here for the summer, stayed here for a little while, and was like, yeah, we'll just move into the house, and so we did.
Let me make sure your mic is on my bed. Okay. Okay. So how long ago was that? Like, how long ago was that?
It's been about 5 years.
Okay. So you've been here for a little while now.
I've been here for a little while, yeah.
Okay. So what kind of work do you do? Because I know you. We met online, which is so funny.
Right.
I know you as like a professional shit talker.
That's exactly what I do. That's exactly what I do.
But I feel like there's so much more to you. So, what's your profession?
Well, my background is in finance. I started off as in accounting.
Okay.
I went to banking. I've been an investment banker, commercial banker. I've done banking all across the board in every. I can't even think of a word.
I got you. That's pretty major though. Is it a lot of women of color in your industry and your experience?
Quite a bit. I actually worked under black women. My entire office at one time were black women.
Okay.
Typically the Atlanta, Dallas, Houston area, not so much so in California.
Okay.
But definitely in these areas for sure.
Okay. That actually makes a lot of sense to me. Let me ask you this. Saying that you have mostly worked under black women, I feel like a lot of people, and it could just be an online thing, I feel like a lot of people have a negative experience working with a black woman over them in authority. What's been your experience?
I haven't experienced that at all.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, I prefer it. The black women that I've worked under have been serious mentors for me, have helped further my career, gave me the game all the
Okay.
time. Like put me on to what was going on behind the scenes, everything. I have not had an experience where working under black women has been terrible for me. I do see it online. Um, I always wonder, what did you do in order to make your experience so terrible? Because
Yeah.
usually with black women, whether they're older or younger, they're always looking for a sisterly type situation, for me
Okay.
in my experience. But like I told you before, most people kind of treat me how I treat them.
Yeah.
So I haven't had that experience.
I'm gonna say I haven't either. So it is kind of weird. I know that everybody has different experiences, but I haven't had that experience either. As a matter of fact, when I worked under black women, they were actually the most helpful
Me too.
managers,
Me too.
supervisors, or whatever that I've ever had. And I mean, I've had a couple that was like, look, I'm not here to be friends, I'm not here to be cool, but they still were very helpful. They weren't rude to me, they weren't mean to me. It was
Right.
just, they're not always necessarily like buddy buddy, but
Right.
I've had great experiences with black women as, in positions of power over me.
Me
So it
too.
is disheartening to see so many people say, oh, they go on a power trip. Because to me, I see that more from men when they get
Right.
promoted to a position of authority.
Right. Right. Right.
And, black, white, or whatever, that's more so what I see with men.
I've experienced that as well. But when it comes to black women, I think that a lot of people just kind of go in already kind of
Feeling
putting,
away.
yeah,
Yeah.
already feeling away, already putting a jacket on them to be like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, she gonna have an attitude, this, and that.
Yeah, they
That
just waiting
is
for something
going
to
to
happen.
manifest.
Yeah,
You're putting that energy out there. You understand what I'm saying?
I agree.
And so of course you're gonna get that back because we can feel the vibes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like for real. And so I think that if you already go into it, with the whole
Feeling like that. Yeah.
I don't want to work under a black woman, or she gonna be this way or that way or
Mm-hmm.
whatever already with the assumption, then yeah, it's probably gonna end up turning out that way.
I agree with that. I totally agree with that. I think that's how it is in most cases. I think when you are going into something with a negative thought process, or you think something is going to happen, even if it doesn't actually happen,
Mm-hmm.
in your mind it just happened. If she
For
come in
real.
the morning, and you never know what this person just went through on their way to work, they could have just had something going with their family and they just not in the best mood, then immediately it's like, see them black women just blah blah blah, you know what I
Right,
mean?
right, right. And they be so quick to just put us down. Like, come on now, fall back. Like
Yeah.
that makes it difficult too. Like it would be very difficult to walk around with already a jacket on you that you gonna be nasty, have an attitude, come off bad, or treat people bad or whatever. Like that can create. I mean, because you can't walk around tap dancing in front of everybody all day long. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
no, that's so
So
true.
it puts a certain amount of pressure on you to where it may now all of a sudden come off awkward. You know?
Do you think black men have those same um stereotypes or perceptions placed on them? Like when
Mm,
they get into a place of power, do people automatically think, oh, he's going to be XYZ?
I don't. And the reason I think that that's a lot of the reason why they walk around acting like they do. Because nobody, or I ain't gonna say it like that, not nobody, but a lot of people don't really too much take them seriously, and they are always fighting to be taken seriously. And
Black
I
men?
think that that's where those ego trips come from. You know what I mean? Coming from a place of you gonna listen to me, you gonna, you know what I'm saying, you gonna
Yeah.
respect me or whatever. So no, I don't think that they're automatically looked at as they're gonna create a problem or whatever.
Okay. I agree with that.
Hmm.
I think that, I think honestly, men in general kind of have, I don't think it's that people don't take them serious. I agree with you in a sense. I know that as a black person, that's just something that you're going to get. But I think a lot of times men in a position of authority, they just kind of, it's a lot easier for them. I think they get less pushback. I think that um they are more respected. when they reach that position of power. Versus a woman, it's like I think she still is constantly having to prove herself. And I mean, to me, that's apparent in our government. You
I
know,
mean,
Donald Trump, who has no political experience, no experience serving the public, ran twice against two highly qualified women, and he won.
yeah,
But he did not win when he ran against a man,
right,
a man that a lot of people apparently don't too much care for, and didn't care for him even being in office. But he ran against Hillary Clinton, who was Secretary of State for like 20 years, who was the former First Lady, who served for years and years as a public servant in Arkansas with her husband, and he won. And
right,
this is a guy who literally has no experience other than just creating businesses, who got a $1 million head start from his father way back in the day.
right,
And then he ran against Kamala, who has been in your city, in California, for the last 30 years, proving herself. In
right.
the streets, serving the people. Whatever you think about her, she has been a servant of the people of Los Angeles, and she was a vice president before she even ran with him. So I mean, highly qualified, and still lost. So I think that that's what women go through. Whether we talking about, I think black women have it the worst, obviously,
Oh
but
yeah,
I
for
think
sure.
that a man can step in a room and be chosen just off the strength that he's a man.
I think that happens too, yes. But when we're talking about black and white, um, I white men for sure, black men they coming up in a close second, I guess. But when it comes to Trump, I don't think that he won simply because he was male. I think it was all his rhetoric, all his nastiness is the reason why he won. I think that
It was.
if another white man would have ran against the women that we're talking about, I think they would have had a little tougher situation. I think we might have considered putting them into office, the women that is. And the reason being is people were just really, 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 and still right now, they only really too much fool with Trump just because of the antics. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't even think it has anything to do with him being male, so to
I
speak.
think it does because he lost against another man. He ran for president 3 times.
Yeah,
Both times that he ran against a woman, and once again, I just have to include a highly qualified woman. And don't get me
yeah,
wrong, Joe Biden was highly qualified as well, so I'm
true
not taking nothing
story.
away from him. But the one time he ran against a man, he lost.
That's true. That's true.
And then it frustrates me because even when he lost against Hillary Clinton, he wasn't even satisfied with just winning. He was mad that he didn't win the popular vote.
Right, right, right.
And so it really kind of, honestly, it disgusts me that Americans would vote for this person that does not have our best interest in
At all,
mind.
not
Like,
even a
at
little
no
bit.
point have I said to myself, okay, I see where he's coming from.
At
I've
all.
never said that.
Mm-mm,
I've
mm-mm.
never heard him explain himself about anything in a way that even made sense. So to me, I don't claim either party. I'm not a Republican, I'm not a Democrat, I'm not a libertarian. I go for the person.
Right,
So I vote for a specific person. I don't vote straight down the line.
right.
Um, and I just have not ever heard Trump say anything that made sense. Whether I agreed with it or not, it just doesn't even make sense. I'm
Which
like, what
is
are you talking about?
for real, which is so weird because most of the people who have run for president, we're always having the conversation of, well, the president don't really do nothing. They're just a face. They're
Mm-hmm.
just there, they're like a puppet or whatever, and they do what the administration is it or behind them tells them to do.
Mm-hmm.
But with him, it's like he really
He's
he
doing these
really making
things.
this stuff up. He really doing this on his own. Not even considering, because you would have to have advisors that are telling you that this is not a good idea. Like none of his ideas are
That's
good
the
ideas.
strange part. I do think that he has brought in a lot of his own people. I do think that he has a lot of people that he has developed these hate-based relationships with over the years.
Mm-hmm.
So, excuse me, I do think a lot of it is him, but I think it's like-minded people with him as well. And that's my issue with everybody's like, "Oh, well, he's not a politician, so he says what he really feels." That's not what we need. When
Yeah.
I got somebody representing me, because that's what he is. Like, I agree with you. Like, the president is just a figurehead, but you're our representation.
Right.
So that'd be just like if I lived at home with my parents, when my parents go out to church or wherever, they are representing our whole household.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if when I go to school, I'm representing my parents.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want him being my my
No,
representative.
not at all. Me
Going to
neither.
China and going to India, going to these meetings with the whole world, it's really an embarrassment.
Have you noticed he hasn't even been anywhere?
It doesn't seem like it.
He hasn't gone anywhere, and I'm wondering, does that have something to do with his
I think
criminal stuff?
people. Oh, I
Cause
didn't even think about that.
yeah,
That's another
like
thing.
he ain't
Like,
been nowhere. Like it's
Mimi,
crazy.
imagine Barack Obama being indicted
Oh
on.
man, please,
Wasn't it like 100 charges?
please. We not even. That would never
When I tell
happen.
you, that nigga would have never even sniffed the same air that the White House block is on.
Man, please. He wouldn't even listen. If he had something, they dug up the fact that he smoked weed in college. Like
Donald Trump
they
was
were
the
on it.
main one talking about we need to get his birth certificate. We
Mm-hmm.
need proof that he's an American citizen. And to me, I genuinely believe this. The only reason Donald Trump is in office is because they wanted to be like, I think they feel like black people felt so much pride behind Barack Obama. To me, their thought process had to be, well, shit, yeah, that nigga y'all had was highly qualified, but we'll put our boy in office.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
this office is not, this ain't shit. Anybody could be president.
I often wonder, like, do they feel any sense of embarrassment with the way that people, not just him, but like his whole crew is just so
I think so.
tactless?
If I had to guess, I would have to say he bought that seat.
Oh, for
I
sure.
think he paid. I think the first time he ran, I think it was just pure sexism. I think he lost. I think Hillary lost because she's a woman, and I think
Okay.
that's the only reason she lost.
Okay.
Because the first few weeks after Trump became president, to me, he didn't look very happy at all. He looked really stressed out. He didn't look
He's
engaged
always
in the
looked that way.
meetings. No, to me, I think that the first time he ran just to say he ran. And I think he was always going to talk shit and always be like, oh, I lost because they cheated and that, this and that. And I think somehow he got in too deep.
Do you think he ever intended to win? I don't.
No, I don't.
Me
Not the
neither.
first time. The second
neither.
time, yes. The
Yeah.
second time, I think he took them 4 years and was like, "Oh no, fuck that.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't gonna beat me this time."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I think the first time, I genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, think he was just doing some shit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm Donald Trump. I can do whatever I want to. Of course, I can run for president.
Yeah.
And I don't think he was supposed to win. I think something happened, whether it was something with the Russians or somebody made a different decision. But I definitely think there was some type of, collusion or something.
Me too.
Because
sure.
I don't think, like, he didn't look happy. He didn't look confident. He didn't look like he wanted to be there.
Yeah.
It took a minute before he kind of got into his role. But at first, he was just really looking like, what the fuck?
I mean, he's been looking like that the whole time to me. However,
now, now he be coming out there with power, like confident, like.
But he be coming out there with bullshit too, like literally just saying anything. It's like he doesn't have the confidence in what he's talking about, so he just throws out random stuff. Like,
no, I think he does have the confidence to say some bullshit.
Okay, well that makes sense too.
I think that he is, at his core, a businessman, a salesman, perhaps. But he is not. He should never have been a president because he cannot represent the average American.
Man, I'm telling you, having a background in finance and literally being a financial advisor to millionaires, and I don't have millions, right? And just sitting here seeing that he allows, like, how are the financial advisors behind him allowing him to make these decisions that really don't make sense at all? Like, not even a little bit. Like, he's just throwing stuff out there. Like that's not coming from a place of a businessman at all.
It's fueled by hate. I don't know which side of the business, because even the stuff with the student loans, it seems so sudden. I don't know. I agree with you. I don't know.
It's crazy. I mean, the financial advisors behind him, the tariffs, the loans, the cutting all the state benefits and things like that. Like, billionaires cannot stay billionaires if poor people cannot spend their money.
Exactly. I agree.
Like, so it's like, why are the billionaires not saying, like, no, these people need to have some money coming in so that they can continue buying all this stuff on Amazon? Like, yes. A financial advisor would advise against that immediately. It's so crazy that they're just allowing him to do stuff. It's like, what is the end goal? Because at the end of the day, like he can seriously say that, okay, they hate poor people. Okay, fine. But that's how you make your money. So what you
Well,
doing?
but this is what I'm saying. Why it's important that the president has served his people
Of
as a
course.
public servant is because you get to understand the average person, or at least you get to understand people. Donald Trump cannot possibly understand or relate to people not having a certain amount of money.
Right?
He grew up in a certain lifestyle, and that's been his lifestyle this whole time. He has never been in a situation where he needed to relate to people that don't have the same amount of money as him. He's never been in a situation where he had to relate, especially to poor people. He's never been in that situation where he had to go speak to poor people and understand poor people. His whole life has been surrounded by rich people. You know, think about if your father gave you $2 million just for graduating high school or college, or you know what I mean, to start your life with. You already starting off with $1 million. Most, I would say, less than 1% of people can relate to some shit like that.
Right.
So, but if that's been your whole life, even us, like, okay, for instance, and I hope this can connect the way I wanted to. Probably 15 years ago, I worked for the airline, and I worked as a person that would be on what's called the ramp, putting bags on the plane, taking bags off the plane, guiding the plane
I
in.
did too.
Yeah, but it's a lot of stuff that you never thought about before until you got back there and saw, oh, this is how they put the bags on the plane. I would have thought everything was more automated, but it's not. It's just niggas back there throwing
Throwing
bags and
bags,
shit.
wondering why
So
your stuff all tore up.
exactly, because
Right.
they back there throwing your shit.
Right.
But I say that to say it's something that I never thought about, and I'm sure that most people don't even think about. You don't think about when you put your bag on that conveyor belt, when you get your ticket and it goes to the back, it's a nigga back there waiting on your bag to pick it up and put it on a cart and then take it to the plane. You just you don't know where your bag goes. It just disappears. So a person like Donald Trump doesn't think about, and I would actually even wager that his customer base is not even poor.
Well,
So he's never been around people that don't have enough. He cannot possibly. I don't think his mind can fathom it. In his mind, these are people that are taking advantage of America because they're lazy, because maybe their parents was lazy. You know what I mean? Like, not, oh, these people were dealt a bad hand, or these people come from less fortunate circumstances because of whatever. In his brain, I'm sure he genuinely thinks if you're not rich, it's just because you're lazy.
well, listen, he can think all of that and that will be just fine. I don't need him to be able to relate. I need
You
him
do.
to understand his consumer because America is a business. So here's the thing, you still got to have your customers buying. And the fact that he's making all of these decisions to like stop people from being able to buy, it's bad business. It just really is. Like, regardless if he can relate or not, like, let's just say Louis Vuitton, they don't just automatically got them fans that they selling. You know what I mean? They doing it because they know our consumer right now is out there boots on the ground popping fans, this and that. So no, we can't relate to them. We're not gonna ever go to a trail ride. But here, my consumer needs this. Let me go ahead and put this out here so that they can purchase from me. And I think that that's where he's messing up. Like, I just don't see how the financial advisors are okay with people not being able to buy food. How is the Amazon billionaire going to stay an Amazon billionaire if can't nobody buy nothing from them?
I think even Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk are in the same situation where they're not able to relate. Jeff Bezos has been a billionaire for over 30 years now.
You saw they had the little drama with
What?
him when he was telling he had went on there and said that he was going to post um what the tariff costs are.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then they had a little spat, but they seem to have worked that out.
And then he came back and was like, oh, no, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, in a way, that's the kind of people he needs to go against, is another billionaire that can say, no, I'm not doing that. But Jeff Bezos is completely checked out too. He's been I just saw an interview last night where the guy it was 1999, and he was like, him and Jeff Bezos were in a car they was just riding. He was like, so you're worth about $9 or $10 billion. And he was like, so what's up with this Honda Accord? And Jeff was just laughing. He was like, it's a good car, it's fine. But that was 1999. It's 2025 now.
Yeah.
And that nigga not driving a Honda Accord no more. That
Right.
nigga's on yachts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So these people can't relate to us. Even after a while, like for instance, you know, I think it's a lot different, but for instance, when you got something at home that's broken and you nigga rig it.
Yeah.
When you growing up, that's what you got to do because all y'all shit, it might be fucked up or whatever, but it's fine. We just gotta set it on this book, and if I put it on the book, then the chair don't creak no more.
Right. Right.
But then, like once you get grown and you get your own money and you don't have to do shit like that no more, you kind of forget.
Yeah. I mean, I can understand
I'm
that,
just
but
saying, like they're on a way higher level
for
of
sure.
they ain't never had the nigga rig nothing. If something broke, we just got a new one.
Right. But I just don't see a world where there can only be that.
But that's
Because
the
that's what
issue
they're
with
trying
Donald
to
Trump
do.
being president.
They're trying to eliminate everything in between. Where I was once upper middle class, now I'm middle class with the, you know what I'm saying? Like it's only rich and poor. It's nothing in between anymore. Or
I mean, I think that's his
they're
intention.
attempting. Yeah, that's what they're attempting to do. But what are you gonna do when the poor is completely poor and they can no longer be your consumer? If
You got to think. Have you seen this movie? Sorry to Bother You with
um,
Lakeith Stanfield.
no, I didn't see it.
Okay. Part of the movie, it's kind of a hard to explain movie, but it's kind of a parody or whatever. And part of the movie was they had a company in the movie that was kind of supposed to be like Amazon,
Mm-hmm.
and the people that worked at this company, one of the big commercials that they would show it throughout the movie was, "Come work here, and you can live here, right where you work at." And they were showing like they got these dorms where the people can go to bed after they get done working, and they got a cafeteria. So it's supposed to be like you don't even got to worry about rent no more. You can just work. You can just live here where you work at.
Mm-hmm.
That's coming. I believe that. That is coming. People are gonna be so poor because it's coming now. A lot of people can't afford rent.
Oh, I know.
Rent is, I would say, on the low end, $1,200
For sure.
for a 1 bedroom
For
in
sure.
a semi decent neighborhood. Not even a nice place. This is like a semi decent. You might not get shot. $1,200. A lot of people, as a person, I'm not in the finance industry, but I do deal with a lot with people's financials all day, every day. Most people are making between $2,400 to $4,000 a month.
Oh, really?
Most of my customers.
Wow.
It's, I would say 10%, 10 to 15, 20 if I'm being generous. 20% of my customers are making more than $4,000 a month. And I'm
Wow.
I'm actually being really generous. I don't think it's 20%. I would say 10%.
Wow.
People are making between $15 an hour to about $22 an hour.
So what do you got to do to get them approved? Like, cause once their debt to what is it?
Debt to income.
Debt to income ratio changes. I mean, once they put their rent in,
I mean, the
can
truth
they afford a
is,
car?
no. A lot
Right.
of people can't. They can't afford a car, and they can't get approved. In a lot of cases, I sell new cars. I sell new and used, but it's a little bit harder to get someone approved for a used car, especially once you factor in what if their credit is not the best, or what if they have a previous repo or something like that. It's actually a lot easier for me to get you approved for a new car, just because it comes with warranties and it's in perfect condition and stuff like that. It's less of a risk for the bank to put you in a new car.
Okay. I was gonna ask you about that too in regards to my son trying to buy a car.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm gonna also say most of my customers are in the credit range between 550 to 640.
Yeah.
So, most of them are looking at putting about between 1,000 to 2,500 down. In some cases, they have to put about 10% of the car. So yeah, I have to put you in a brand new car that's only $20,000 to $24,000, and then your interest rate is gonna be high as hell. It's gonna
High
be
as
about
hell.
18%.
Let me ask you a quick question while we on that.
Okay.
Do you have to put down a down payment? Because when I worked in a bank, we never took a down payment at all for all of our cars, whether your credit was good, bad, whatever. I mean, you could if you wanted to, but we never require that you put a down payment down.
I think with the
So,
bank, it's a little bit different because your the customer is your main objective.
mm-hmm.
Whereas the banks that I work with, so okay, at your bank, you have the customer's best interest in mind. The banks I work with have their best interest in mind.
Okay.
So, because in your situation, the customer is already a customer. The customer is already your customer. You're just helping them get a loan for a car or something like that.
Right, right,
In
right.
our situation, you're a stranger coming to us asking for a loan for $20,000, $30,000.
Right.
So the down payment in some cases. So I work with this one bank, and I don't even know if I should say the name of it, but I will. It's called Linbuzz, and they're really, really good for first time buyers, and people that just may not have the best credit. They don't take repos, but they're good if you don't have the best credit. But you have to put about 10% down.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So a lot of my customers that I get approved with them, I'm looking at putting them in a. I have to put them in a brand new car most of the time, and we're looking at about 2,500 down because the cheapest car is like 20,000, 25,000.
Right.
So, but and then they are looking at about 15 to 18% interest, but it can be good because you're still getting into a car, you're still establishing credit, but they require that down. They do require that down payment, and I think it's just meant to essentially make you put some skin in the game, because it's kind of like, okay, I see that you make whatever you make monthly. How do I know that if something happened, you're not gonna stop paying your car note?
Right, right, right.
So if you can come up with $2,500, then I got a little bit more faith. Then we can do some business together. If you can come up with 2,500, then I'll give you the 25,000.
So that whole bit about the down payment going to the car salesman, that's
Fuck
a
no.
myth.
Hell no. That's a myth, because
Okay.
if that was the case, it wouldn't be no 1,000 down. It wouldn't be no 500 down. It wouldn't be no 0 down. No, you come in with 2,000 every single time. If it's going in my pocket,
okay,
and you my customer, all y'all 2,000 down. Period. But if I can get it done with 0 down, I would love to do that.
Okay.
I would love to put you in a car without you not having to come out of pocket any money. I would love to put you in a car. And then sometimes what customers don't understand is sometimes it's the difference between you leaving in your car today and you not. So if you come to me and say, Chante, I got 2,000 down and the bank requires 2,500, you don't think I want to still sell you a car?
So from a customer standpoint, is any of that negotiable?
If your credit is good.
What's good credit in 2025?
650 and up.
Really?
650 is not really good, but
yeah.
Like, I mean, 700 up is good, but 650 I can probably get it done with no money down.
Okay. No money down, but that interest rate at 650 is gonna be still high.
It's gonna still be high, unless, but credit is so complicated, and that's what people don't understand either. God. It's not really as simple as me even throwing out a number. It's really irresponsible for me to even throw out a number, because
true story.
You could be 650, but you might have 2-3 cars that you done paid off, but maybe you just ain't got too much other credit. 650 with 2 cars paid off, you leaving with 0 down and the best interest rate possible.
Yeah,
8%, maybe even lower. But 650 and you barely scraped it up to 650, like you done just paid off your little debts, you done got you a secure credit card that you've been making payments on for the last year, like you barely at 650, you probably gonna need to put 1,000 down. And yeah, I would say the interest rate is negotiable, but you have to just be realistic. So if you at a 650, you're not gonna get the interest, the APR specials that we have on our website that you see on TV, where it's like, oh, get 1.9% APR on this vehicle. You're not gonna get that.
Right.
And that's okay. And I think that's the biggest issue, is like they don't teach us this stuff in school, and people come with unrealistic expectations. And I had those same expectations when I was a little bit younger too, before I started selling cars.
But here's the thing: people with good credit, they have unrealistic expectations as well. Like,
they do.
I've seen so many of my clients that have hundreds of thousands of dollars in a bank, got an 805 credit score, but they can't get nothing because they got too much. They have it all packed out.
Yeah.
They got this home loan. They got several different loans. They got their, cars here and there, whatever. And then they come in and they're like, well, my credit score is this. Okay, yeah, but you still, all your money is tied up. Yeah, you maxed out.
No, I had somebody like that who credit score was close to 800, but he already had 4 open autos.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can't possibly put you in another car.
Right.
I would love to, but I can't. Like, you got 4 open autos. He had bought I want to say it was his own car, and then he bought all his sister's cars. He was taking care of his family for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
Had his house loan, just
Mm-hmm.
all type of shit. Credit is excellent, but you're overextended
Yeah,
already.
you're overextended.
You pay your
Exactly.
bills, but we can't add another bill.
They be having a lot of open loans too, like lump sums,
Hmm.
$50,000 cash loans,
Right, and
hundred
that's
thousand
another
dollar
thing
cash
too.
loans.
Is
Yeah,
you don't have like little cheap cars, like a little Malibu that's $12,000. You can pay that off, whatever. You got $60,000 car, $40,000
yeah.
car. You owe these people money. You owe these motherfuckers over $200,000.
Right, right, right,
How am I supposed to? And you don't make that.
right,
So that's what people have to think about. And at the same time, what I find frustrating, I don't know if you experience this, but people want crazy discounts. So people will come in and be like, okay, I want this car, I want the top of the line, I want leather seats, I want the sunroof, I want the heated seats, I want the seats that massage, and my budget is 35,000,
right,
but it has to be brand new.
right,
No, no, that's not gonna happen. Or
right,
they come in, we go through the whole process, I give them the numbers, and they're like, oh, can you take $5,000 off the sticker price? And I'm like,
right.
how did you get to that number?
What's crazy is people expecting, they used to come in the bank expecting to walk out with a $500 or $600 car payment. And
Mm-hmm.
it would just be like, nobody in 2025 has a $500 car payment.
Not on a new car.
Not on no new car at all. Like, get that out your brain right now. It's not going to happen. So,
And that happens so much. I had a lady drive here from Houston a couple weeks ago, because she wanted this specific vehicle that we had. This it's called a Santa Cruz, and it's like a little girly pickup truck.
okay.
So she drove 3 hours away for that vehicle, and then she was like, "Well, um, I'm pre-approved through Capital One, and I want my payment to be at $400 a month. The car is $30,000,
It
and
don't make
she
sense.
actually only wants to put $1,000 down. It's not possible." And she kept showing me, and that's another thing is, when you come into these places to buy a car, it's one thing to be prepared, but you also have to be realistic.
Yeah.
So, for instance, if you're coming to buy a car, so like she said, she came in, she had the pre-approval through Capital One. She hands me the paper, but the pre-approval is saying that you need to put 2,000 down,
Mm.
and that the payment is going to be more like almost 500,
Mm-hmm.
and that your interest rate is at about 15%. So she got her
Yikes.
mom there with her, and her mom is like, no, absolutely not. She can't afford anything over $400, and she's only putting 1,000 down, and we want the interest rate to be at like 9%. And I'm like, but that's not even what your pre-approval says.
Right.
But in their minds, they think that they're in a position to negotiate. They're like, well, this is what we want. We want the payment to be at weekly. I can't afford any more than $400. Okay, let me show you a different vehicle. No, I only want this one.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'll see you
Well, you
later
gotta get the
then.
fuck out.
Yeah, go on in. It's
And
a
I
wrap
can't
on
say
that.
that, but it is frustrating sometimes to spend so much time with a person just to realize their expectations are completely unrealistic. And it's such a divide between me as a salesperson and a customer, because people look on shit like TikTok and YouTube, and they think they coming in there like, oh, you're not gonna screw me over. Like, it's
Yeah.
not really that simple. If you've already done your research online about what the car is supposed to cost, you know what your credit is like, you know what you're qualified for, and Capital One does actually have a APR calculator that's really really good. If you use that, then you should be able to come in there and have a very realistic expectation. But when you come in there and just say, I want that Benz right there, and I only want to pay $350 a month, I'd rather you leave.
Right. Right. With all that's going on, though, I think that, especially like going back to Trump and the tariffs and all of that kind of stuff, I think that people are under the assumption that they shouldn't even be buying no car, or that
Probably.
people are not buying cars. And so, you, as a car salesman, you need my business.
I
You
do.
understand what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you need it. So, you're going to do anything you can do to get it to me. You know what I mean? I think that that's probably what they walking in thinking. Because why else would you think I'm going to just take $5,000 off this car?
That is what people think, but I think that comes from media. I think that comes from them thinking, oh, every car salesperson is just trying to get over on me, so I got to go in there and just stick to my guns, and I'll be able to leave with what I want. So I had a lady last week, or maybe the week before, and she was like, I want my payment to be this. And once again, same exact scenario. She is getting the highest trim level available. She's getting a hybrid car, as a matter of fact. So she got every bell and whistle available. She wants her payment to be $600 a month. It's not possible. And she's like, well, I really want to work with you. If you want the sale, you'll make it happen. And I'm like,
Mhm.
you realize that the only way I get paid is if I sell you this car. It's not possible. It's not that I don't want the sale, but what you're asking me to do is literally not possible. This is a money making business. This is not a nonprofit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm
Right.
not here to just give these cars away.
Right.
Now, if you're willing to not have the sunroof, now we back in business. If you're willing to not have to have leather seats, if your car doesn't have to be hybrid, let's talk. If you're willing to take a 2024 instead of a 2025, let's talk. But you want the best of the best for an extremely discounted rate, and
So with
it's
the
not
tariff
possible.
stuff going on, should we be buying Hyundais off the lot?
Fuck yeah.
Or should we be buying
No, you need to be
whatever
buying
little
Hyundais because
Mustangs and stuff y'all got sitting on the lot?
no, because Hyundai actually just invested in a I want to say like $30 billion. What
Oh,
I'm probably exaggerating, but they did just open a plant. I think in Georgia, they spent billions of dollars to make a plant here so that they don't have to go through those tariffs and so that they can keep competitive and fair
that's
pricing.
what's up.
Yeah. So Hyundai doing a big one right now.
So listen, so that would kind of go back to Trump, the Trump situation where he's like, we're gonna bring businesses back, right?
Yes and no. So this
Okay.
is something that Hyundai was doing already. I want to say that they probably pushed up the date for them to open operations on that specific plant,
Okay.
but they were going to do that anyways, and it actually had more to do with electric cars than the tariffs.
Okay.
It was more so about people being able to, because you get like a $7,500 rebate when you buy an electric car,
Okay.
but you only get that if it's made in America. So that's why they were wanting to do that. So, and actually, here in the next 10 to 20 years, I believe that probably most cars on the road are going to be electric.
Yeah.
So it didn't have anything to do with
I
the
mean that.
tariffs. But the good thing is, I have seen a lot of people saying that they're going to buy Hyundais moving forward just because it'll be more affordable.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah. So, yeah, Hyundais are great cars to buy. Of course, American made cars are okay too. But if you're gonna get a car and you can afford to, I would say that you should probably be trying to buy a new car. With Hyundai and most new cars have like a 5 year, 60,000 mile warranty. Hyundai has 10 years, 100,000 miles, and they take care of anything that goes wrong with the engine or transmission during that time. So, to me, if you can afford to get a new car, you should. But if you're gonna buy a used car, excuse me, you just got to do your due diligence, because something that annoys me is people being like, "Oh, don't buy a car from this place because I bought a car from them, and 2 months later my transmission went out." That
Yeah.
has nothing to do with the car lot.
Right. Right.
You
Right.
purchased the car, and you're still making payments because you took out a loan to purchase that car.
Right.
So I think that's what a lot of people like, and this is how I thought too before I started selling cars. You think that I went to this car lot to buy the car, they're supposed to take care of me forever. When that's not how it works.
Oh no.
When you go buy a piece of candy from the gas station, you don't keep going back like, "Hey, this gum ain't got no more flavor."
Right. Right. Right.
You made that purchase, so it's the same thing with the car. You spent $20,000 on this car. You just took out a loan to do so.
Right.
So the bank is who you're paying. I have nothing to do with whatever happens to your car.
Right.
In a lot of cases, we're gonna take care of you. You know, if it's been like a week or something and something happens, but after 2 months, whatever happens was gonna happen.
Right. As far as the warranties go, what's the warranty like on an electric car? I think that most people in the market for an electric car think that they're coming with like zero issues. You know what I mean? Like
Nah,
no
a machine is a
transmission,
machine.
right. What is the what's the warranty like on those? Because it can't cover, transmission and motor. So
Mm-mm.
what is it gonna cover?
So what you get is I think it's 10 years, 120,000 miles on the battery,
Mm-hmm.
and then you still get the new car warranty, which is like 5 years, 60,000 miles on different parts. So the same way, like the powertrain warranty on a regular car covers the engine and transmission. That's where you get the 10-year warranty, and then you also get a 5-year warranty on everything else besides the engine and transmission. So it's the same thing with electric cars for the most part. And this is, I think Tesla has the same one. I think every electric car has the same thing where it's 120,000 miles on the battery.
Tesla's 50. Well, maybe on the battery. I
Yeah,
know for the car itself, it's 50,000 miles, or I think it's 4 years or 50,000 miles.
and that's pretty standard.
Yeah,
That's pretty standard. So I mean, you're buying a machine. It's not gonna be perfect. It's not gonna. I saw one lady. She made a post on Facebook the other day, and she was like really upset because her car has like 105,000 miles on it, and she's starting to have issues with the engine. And she was like, I guess her check engine light came on. So she was like, that was my whole point in buying a new car, so I wouldn't have to go through this. I'm like, the car's not new anymore.
right.
I mean, it sucks that you may be in a position where as soon as you pay this car off, you got to get another car and start making payments on that. But you're buying a machine. It's nothing that any mechanic, it's nothing that the best mechanic in the world can do to stop your car from having car issues.
Right.
All any of us can do is just maintain the regular maintenance. So, and I mean, that's another thing about getting a new car is most places, they'll take care of you on your oil change and stuff for a little while.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So to me, a new car is definitely a worthwhile investment, but most people can't afford a new car. So that's something that I really struggle with. And it's not my business. It is my business, but it's not my business at the same time. But sometimes I hate that I have to get somebody a $800 payment, a $700 payment. And I know you can't afford it. I know that this car is probably going to get repoed.
Yeah.
But that's not my job to think into the future.
That's crazy. But again, where I work at, or everybody paying a $1,200 car payment.
Yeah.
Oh, so I was going to ask you, when you come into the car dealership, is it sensible to tell a lie? You know how they ask you what's your rent payment and all that stuff? Should you just, I pay no rent to get your DTI down? You know what I mean? Because I know a lot of times people walk in and they tell you the truth, and you're like, oh yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? You maxed out. No, so should you come in there and say, you know, I pay zero rent, I live with somebody, whatever. Do those lies work? I guess is what I'm asking.
That's a hard question for me to answer. I'm gonna say the less provable debt that you have, yes, it helps.
Yeah.
So yeah, your apartment is probably not on your credit report.
Yeah.
If so when you're saying, oh, I'm staying with family, oh, I only pay $400 a month, it definitely helps.
People need to know that. I mean, just because if cars are your business and that's what you got to sell, you can't go in there and put in
that they paying $1,200.
Yeah, you can't put that $1,800 rent on there. Like,
and that's but that is the reality of the situation, is that people come in there, they making $15 an hour, so the most you make in a month before taxes, before taxes is already $2,400. So then you got to pay your $1,200 rent. Mm-hmm. So take away $1,200 off the 24, but we ain't even take taxes out, so we really at $2,000. Now I'm supposed to take $1,200 away from that, and you only got $800 left. Now I still got to assume that you're spending about $200 a month on food. Mm-hmm. There's no way that you can afford a car note and insurance.
So make sure you don't tell nobody about the rent.
I mean, most people live in a 2-income situation, whether it's me and mama, me and grandma, me and sister, me and boyfriend, me and girlfriend. Most people have some type of help somewhere.
Yeah.
And I mean, they helping too. You know what I'm saying? Most people got that. But yeah, I agree. It's a lot to this shit. And if you can, I would say the best way to look for a car, honestly, that doesn't help me out at all, is get an idea of what your credit is like. Get an idea of what you can afford. So if you're saying I want a $400 a month car payment, because this is actually what I did, because I wanted a $400 payment, I immediately realized that I couldn't afford a brand new car. So that's why I went and looked at used cars. And I realized that I needed to be around $12,000 to $14,000 total price for the car. So when people come in and y'all are saying stuff like, oh, how much is this car? You do yourself a disservice, because me as the salesperson, and I'm a nice salesperson, I'm a good salesperson. So if you're getting another salesperson, now I already know I'm about to fuck you over because you came in here unprepared. You don't even know how much the car cost. So I know you ain't worried about the monthly payment. I know you don't know what your credit is like. I know that you don't know what you could get.
Right.
So yeah, you're gonna leave here in a new car, and you're gonna leave here with a high ass payment. But that's what most people want.
Wow.
Most people that I deal with that have bad credit, they don't even blink when I say that. When I be like, all right, I do need the 1,000 down, and your payment is gonna be 898. Them motherfuckers, and I think it's a part of it is I don't want to seem like I ain't got it. Them motherfuckers be like, oh, that's not bad.
I mean, it really ain't. But in my
It
in my
is when you only making
I
when you
mean,
make less than
yeah.
$3,000 a month, you should not have an $800
I
payment.
mean, you shouldn't have a $900 payment on a Hyundai or Hyundai or however you
So I
pronounce it.
have to disagree with that just because things cost money.
Things cost
Things
money.
cost what they cost.
Right, they do. But I think that you guys kind of pride yourselves in not making crazy expensive cars, right?
Exactly.
Right.
But okay, so let's
So what's
say
the
the cheapest car is like 24,000.
okay?
So 24,000. I wish I had a calculator right now.
Here you go.
Let me see.
Where is it? Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's say 24,000. The average person gets a 5-year loan. So 24,000 divided by 60. That's 400 right there.
Okay.
So you already know you're not getting a $400 payment unless your credit is at 800. 800.
Oh, for sure. Because
So
you got to throw that interest rate up on there.
so let's add $10 for each interest percentage. So let's say I got you at 18%. That's plus 180. So that's 580. That's not bad, but I mean that's not me considering. I haven't added the tax, title, and license fees. I haven't added gap insurance if you're gonna get that or extended warranty. So even on our cheapest car, if you don't have the best credit, you leave them with a $600 payment.
Okay.
But what's a realistic thing is that you can refinance. You know what I mean? If you, and that's what I be telling people. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't. They're not able to keep up with it. But if you get the car in your name and you make on time payments for 12 months straight, never miss a single payment at all, on time that is.
Of
And
course.
then let's say you get a secure credit card on top of that, and you keep that secure credit card for 12 months, and you only use, you put $200 on it, you only use $80 to $100 every month, you put that right back on there, and you keep up with that, your credit score shoot up. And
Don't
then
even
you
use
come
it.
back in and refinance, and you can get that $400 payment.
Right.
But when you come in there with shitty credit and you don't do nothing to improve your shitty credit, or when you come in there with shitty credit, and this is what also people got to realize, we're trying to make money. So yeah, the car might be $24,000, but if I can sell it to you for 30,000,
Right.
that's what I'm gonna do, and that's what's gonna make your payment higher. But you have to be the one to come in there and say, I really like. You have to stand on business and say, I really can't afford this. Is there any way I can get it a little bit lower? And sometimes there is no way.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes different things come into play. But a lot of times, to be honest with you, a lot of times with bad credit customers, they the payment is capped.
Okay.
So there's only so much that I can even make your payment. So the bank will a lot of times be like, okay, they can't have a payment over 580.
Okay.
So, in some cases the bank do have your best interest in mind, but it's still their best interest because they're like, shit, anything over 580, she ain't gonna pay that shit no way.
Right. Right. Right.
So you just gotta come in there prepared. That's what I would say. Just go in there prepared. If you think your sales person is not working for you, then leave and get a different salesperson. But for the most part, it's not like 20 years ago where we could do whatever we want to. And yeah, 20 years ago they probably was taking a down payment and put it in their pocket.
Yeah.
It's just not like that no more.
Right. 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 I think, like I said, it's some misconceptions when you walking into a dealership on what you can do and even what they can do.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So real quick before we get out of here, you're a part of the LGBTQIA LMNOP community here in Dallas.
Yeah.
So what's your experience or your thoughts on the scene here?
Ooh, Lord, we don't even want to go there. Not with me. I think that a lot in the LGBTQIA LMNOP community, I think that religion affects it quite a
Okay.
bit. The gender roles,
Yeah.
the the uh, the women dealing with women that want to behave or mimic themselves to be the most toxic male that they can possibly be.
Okay.
And then also too, women or feminine women, I would say, expecting their partners to be men.
Okay.
I mean, I've experienced it on both ends. It's
So you
been
think
kind of
the gender
crazy
roles make lesbian relationships toxic?
for sure,
Okay.
for sure. And I've experienced it most in Dallas since I've been here. I've experienced it most.
Do you
I'm
think that's
sorry,
a
I'm saying
southern
in
thing?
Dallas. I'm saying in the South, in the
Okay.
southern states that I've lived in. Because I've lived in Charlotte, I lived in Georgia, I lived in Atlanta, and I lived here in Dallas.
And the experience was similar in
The
those three
experience has been
places.
similar. Yeah.
I mean, I think I do agree with you first of all. What I will say is coming from California, I think that your perspective is going to be a lot more progressive than most anyways.
Right.
Even if you was talking about a heterosexual situation, it's probably more like you probably have less expectation on gender roles even from that
Yeah.
standpoint.
I can see how that can be possible for sure. It's liberal, right?
Yeah.
We kind of just doing whatever. Down here it's a little bit more structured, a little bit more rules to the game,
Yeah.
as opposed to being at home or whatever. But that's what I've experienced here. I also experienced a little bit of, I don't know, ankle biting.
Ankle bite.
Like,
What does that mean?
they don't like each other. They
Who?
don't like each other.
Oh, the gay people here?
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
we not, when you talk about it being like a community, um it's a whole lot of just back and forth nonsense
Yeah.
constantly. It's almost like I said, like, don't nobody like each other, so it makes it difficult, especially if you're talking about like dating or being friends and having friend groups.
Yeah.
Most of my friends, or my gay friends, I would say, are male.
Okay.
But I do have, and I would love to have quite a bit more, lesbian friends as well.
Hmm.
But it's hard to meet them when don't nobody like each other. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm
I agree with
saying?
that.
Like,
And I think it's really hard to make friends, to me at least, as an adult,
yeah,
just because when you in school or even in college, you see these people every single day. So it's like, okay, that's how we became friends because I'm with you every single day. I'm around you every single day. We
right,
talking every single day. I think as an adult, it's so easy to get, like, for me, I have the hardest time texting people back, calling people back. Like, I will forget, and it's nothing personal. It's not even that I don't think your conversation is good. It's just shit. I was at work. I worked way later than I expected to. By the time I got off, I didn't even think to call you back. And by the time I remembered that we was even having a conversation, it's been 2, 3 days later.
right,
And
right,
now maybe you don't feel that I value your friendship, or maybe you calling me on a Sunday at the last minute, being like, "Hey, come on, let's do this." And I just don't feel like that's my only day off. Like, I just want to chill on that day. But you might feel like, damn, you don't never show up when I want you to show up.
right. Um, I don't know. I guess because most of my friends are out of state, right?
Yeah,
My best friend is in New
same here.
York.
Yeah,
My other best friend is in LA. I don't really run into that issue because we don't speak to each other on a regular basis
yeah,
anyway. So I don't feel away. But I think with friendships, especially local friendships, like, it does have to be kind of a give and take. I don't need to
yeah,
talk to you every day. Trust me. I don't even want to. Like, you know what I mean? Because I be in my own world as well. But on the day that you are planning to do something, you call, you invite me, I come out or whatever. I need to also to call and invite you somewhere
yeah,
sometimes. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I prefer my friends to work. But that's how I prefer my lovers to work too. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Um, your homegirl is kind of like your little, sneaky link or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like a little girlfriend on the side or whatever. But yeah, when it comes to, like I said, going back to the gay community, it's difficult to, let me say this. I think it's a little bit more difficult for me because I don't know anybody
yeah,
in order to be able to determine if you're safe as a
Yeah.
friend. And because everybody seems to not like each other, it puts me in a weird spot because if I befriend you and you don't like nobody or don't nobody like you, that somehow has a reflection on me and who I am. And then it also has a reflection on our friendship because I can't be out with you and, you know, somebody come bust you upside the head. Yeah, you know what I mean? So it's difficult because, again, coming from another place where I really don't know nobody to kind of like get a little background on you, it makes it difficult. But that also too come along with people just being good to people. Like literally, like I said, most people treat me exactly how I treat them. But if I see you and I see that you involved in mess, confusion, whatever it is, that's gonna automatically push me away. Because me sitting here and I'm kicking it with you, I can't even see myself engaging in that because I don't even know them people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you spilling that on me as a friend, you spilling that on me, it's like I'm side-eyeing you. You know what I'm saying? I can't even really side-eye them.
I'm gonna say like I said, in high school, even in your early 20s, it makes sense that your friend into it. Okay, well shit, if you don't like her, you don't like me.
Yeah.
But I'm in my 30s. I'm trying to network. Like, I don't, whatever she slept with your friend or whatever the fuck, that ain't got nothing to do with me.
Nothing to do with me.
And I've been told you to leave that trifling motherfucker alone anyway.
Listen,
so.
For real. I said that. I'm like, man, you can't recruit me to dislike people that ain't did nothing to me. Like, she stole $20 out your purse. Okay. She ain't never stole $20 out my purse. I ain't the one mad. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know her as a thief.
Yeah, I don't know her as a thief. Like, for real. Like, I'm cool sorry. Listen, I'm gonna keep saying hi when I see her. Like, I can't just automatically. And if we constantly do that, like Dallas is Dallas. Because again, I've been in other places. Dallas is the only place where I've seen people jump from friend group to friend group to friend group. And this is just on social media. Where you jumping from friend group to friend group to friend group and having fallouts with each and every group that you join in. Okay, something going on there.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Something is going on there. And then something is also going on with the people that you choose to deal with. You know what I'm saying? The people that choose to deal with you. It's just too much. So that makes it difficult. You know what I'm saying? It's not like we just going out, going to the bar, going to the club or whatever, going to, whatever establishments and just having a good time. It's always a weird tension of it's some smoke in the room.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that makes it difficult. That's why I tend to just
stay to yourself.
Stay to myself. Mind my own business.
Same
let's go to the bar or something. But yeah. Because again, it makes it really difficult. And then not even that, but it's a small town. I totally get that. It's not like a whole bunch of people coming in and out. Even though there are a lot of transplants here.
Yeah.
For the most part, a lot of people been here for a long time.
I've never heard anybody refer to Dallas as a small town.
It's a small town in comparison to, it's a small community.
Okay.
A small Black lesbian, because of course I'm in a lesbian community, right?
So for me, coming from Milwaukee, I have to disagree. But I get what you're saying, coming from where you're coming from.
Coming from where I'm coming from.
It is small. But for me, coming from where I'm coming from, for them to have, and I get this ain't the whole lesbian community, but even having a neighborhood is still new to me. Like, it's still
really?
Damn, this is amazing. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
There's nowhere for gay people to go in Milwaukee where like, I'm going to see all the other gay people here.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. I mean, I don't know too much about Milwaukee.
And I mean, it's so funny because you think of Texas as this conservative, like, country, but you go down there and this fucking rainbows painted all on the sidewalk and shit.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we got to get out of here. Just to kind of take it on a lighter note real quick, I'm going to do a quick Reddit, and you're just going to give me your opinion real quick.
Okay.
And this is, am I the asshole, I believe? All right, am I the asshole for demanding to go through my brother-in-law and his girlfriend's bags if they stay with us?
Wait, what?
Am I the asshole for demanding to go through my brother-in-law and his girlfriend's bags if they are staying with us?
Are they thieves?
Let me read the story. Let's see.
Okay.
All right, it says, I have a pretty severe dairy allergy. I break out in hives, struggle to breathe, and I have to carry 2 EpiPens with me everywhere. If I get any dairy in my system, I'll end up in the ER. My in-laws know this and have been extremely accommodating since my fiance and I started dating 5 years ago. When we moved in together 2 years ago, we set strict rules for our home because of my allergy. The big one is that no one is allowed to bring anything that contains dairy into our house ever, no matter what. On to the current story. My brother-in-law started dating his girlfriend a year and a half ago. They came to visit us together for the first time a year ago. My fiance made sure my brother-in-law explained my allergy to his girlfriend and our no dairy rule. 2 days into their stay, she brought dairy products and cooked lunch for herself when we weren't home. I ended up in the ER because of cross contamination. She apologized and explained that she hadn't understood how serious my allergy was. We managed to put the situation behind us once, since both my fiance and I currently have and want to keep a good relationship with my brother. The two of them came for a second visit 9 months ago. We had a video call with brother-in-law and his girlfriend before they came to make sure she understood the severity of my allergy and how serious we are about the no dairy rule. During their second trip, I was taking out the trash and found candy bar wrappers and an empty milkshake container in the guest room trash, the room she was staying in. Even after she saw how serious my allergy is and how I ended up in the ER, she still brought dairy into our house. I confronted her when they got back. She and brother-in-law had a huge fight. Brother-in-law went through her stuff and threw out everything she had with dairy. We kicked out his girlfriend. Brother-in-law stayed for the rest of the trip. Brother-in-law and his girlfriend worked out their relationship after the trip, and they're still together. Since their second trip, brother-in-law has come alone since I don't trust his girlfriend in our house. Well, now he's planning a new trip to visit us, and his girlfriend wants to come too. At first, we just said no, we don't trust her. But since we know how important it is to brother-in-law, we came up with what we believe is a good compromise. She can come and stay at our place, but we need to look through her bags every time she comes and goes. And if she doesn't accept that, they can stay at a hotel or stay home. Now I'm being called an asshole for treating her like a criminal, and that checking her bag is an invasion of privacy. So am I the asshole for demanding to go through her bags if she's staying at my house?
Um, First of all, the whole situation is nuts, right?
Yes.
It's ridiculous. She's a habitual
Offender.
yeah. Right. No, in this case, because at first, when the first sentence was read, I was like, oh nah, girl, go to hell.
Yeah.
Right? But as the story went on, I'm like, nah, she ain't the asshole. Like for real, she needs to just telling people that they can't come, period.
That's how I feel.
Like at all. Like there's no coming. Like
I think they just need to not come.
They just need to not come. But no, she not the asshole. But I wouldn't even waste my time digging in her bag on a regular basis like that. That is
I'm gonna say overkill. Too, I do feel like it's kind of difficult because I can see how the girlfriend thought that her drinking a personal milkshake wouldn't affect anything,
which is nuts in itself. Like I